Good morning. Are you Janetta Pugh?
I am the beneficiary of that estate.
You're the what? You're the beneficiary of what estate?
This courtroom is about to spiral into confusion, conflict, and a complete breakdown of legal understanding. We've got a defendant who claims to be the beneficiary of an estate, a judge trying to maintain order, and a situation where multiple attorneys have already stepped away. That alone raises a red flag. But what happens next? It only gets more chaotic. Watch closely, because this case isn't just about legal arguments. It's about control, strategy, and whether the defendant even understands the system she's challenging. And trust me, the tension in this courtroom is just getting started.
Answer my questions, please, ma'am. I'm just trying to understand. Okay. What's the announcement?
Judge, it's my understanding that Ms. Pugh and her family has retained an attorney on this matter. You may, I don't know if you remember, Judge, when I was...
Right out of the gate, we're seeing a fundamental disconnect. The defendant is using language that doesn't align with standard legal terminology. When someone refers to themselves as a beneficiary of the state or frames their identity this way, it often signals a misunderstanding of how criminal law works. Courts operate on charges, statutes, and evidence, not personal interpretations of legal identity. This is where things can quickly go off track, because if the defendant doesn't engage within the recognized legal framework, the judge has very limited patience for that approach.
Went on, and we were on the trial docket. She hired a new attorney at that point. Mr. Norwood, who was on the case for a while, and then withdrew. And once recently, when the case came back to me, I visited with her and I was told that they did retain another attorney. I was given the name of Christopher Wiley this morning, but I have not heard from him. And my understanding is that at this point still hasn't filed anything with the court.
Okay.
But I've been told that that's who's supposed to be taking over the case.
Okay.
For the record, I recognize Ms. Pugh. She's been here before.
I do as well, for the record.
And I looked into Mr. Christopher Wiley. I can't find.
Now, this is a critical moment. Multiple attorneys have been mentioned, some withdrawing, others supposedly hired but not officially appearing in court. In legal terms, this creates instability. Judges rely on clear representation to move cases forward efficiently. When attorneys repeatedly step in and out, it often suggests communication breakdowns, non-payment, or disagreement over strategy. And here's the key issue. Until a new attorney formally files with the court, they don't exist in the eyes of the law. That puts the defendant in a very vulnerable position right now.
That person as a practicing lawyer in the state bar page, and I have not been contacted by anybody on Ms. Pugh's behalf.
All right. So, Ms. Pugh, Mr. Lewis has been appointed to represent you at this point. Obviously, you know as well as anyone that you're in custody, and we want to get your case taken care of. If you've hired or your family has hired another lawyer, then they have to contact the court so that we can do something with your case. And do you know if they've hired someone?
Respectfully, Your Honor, I do not agree with your appointed foreign agents, considering that the first duty is to the state and will be considered conflict of interest.
This is where things start to get serious. The court cannot verify the existence of the attorney the defendant is claiming to have hired. That's a huge problem. In legal proceedings, everything must be documented: names, filings, bar registrations. If the judge can't confirm that this attorney is real or officially representing the defendant, then legally that representation doesn't count. This puts the defendant back at square one, and the court has no choice but to proceed with either a court-appointed attorney or self-representation. All right, so Ms. Pugh.
Okay, so if you don't want, the only thing I can do, I'm appointing an attorney to you to help you, right? So if you don't want a court-appointed attorney, then your only option, two things. One is to represent yourself or to hire a lawyer. So if you don't like the way it works, then you do something different. So are you, listen to what I'm saying. Are you either going to represent yourself, or are you going to let Mr. Lewis represent you, or are you going to hire someone?
Objection, Your Honor. Respectfully, is this a
They serve the state. That's a common misconception. Public defenders or appointed attorneys are ethically and legally bound to represent the defendant, not the state. Their duty is to provide a defense, challenge evidence, and protect the defendant's rights. The judge is now trying to simplify the situation into 3 clear choices. Accept the appointed lawyer, hire a private one, or represent yourself. And none of those options can be avoided. Okay, so if you don't want
It is a court of record. So your objection's overruled.
Respectfully, Your Honor, where is the verified claim that is being placed against my trust?
It's right here. It's called an indictment. And Mr. Lewis has a copy of it and he can show it to you. So that would be the verified claim against you.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, Your Honor, there were writs that was filed to the case that still haven't been received.
I've received your petition for writ of habeas corpus and it's denied.
Okay. Respectfully, Your Honor, I demand to be released due to lack of evidence of stated claim.
Notice how the defendant attempts to object here, but the objection doesn't follow proper legal grounds. In court, objections must be specific and tied to legal rules like relevance, hearsay, or procedure. Simply saying objection without a valid basis won't stop proceedings. The judge immediately overrules it, reinforcing authority and control of the courtroom. This moment highlights a bigger issue. Without proper legal knowledge or representation, the defendant is struggling to engage effectively in her own defense. It is a court of record,
And not being given the proper opportunity to obtain proper counsel, effective defense.
It's overruled. You're running out, aren't you?
No, it's fine.
So here's the thing, Ms. Pugh. I appreciate your position, but listen,
Respectfully, Your Honor,
Ms. Pugh, don't
with my
speak over me.
incarceration- Respectfully, Your Honor, with my incarceration being
Ms.
solved-
Pugh, just because you say respectfully does not mean that you get to interrupt me. That's disrespectful, right? Hang on, listen to me. Everything you have there is overruled. And here's one of the reasons why, is because you have a lawyer. And your lawyer will file the appropriate motion. You're interrupting me again, which is disrespectful. So I'm going to leave Mr. Lewis as your attorney unless you choose to represent yourself or hire someone else. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to determine what you're.
Now we're seeing escalating frustration. The defendant demands release, claiming lack of evidence and inadequate legal opportunity. But here's the reality. Those arguments must be made through formal motions, typically by an attorney. The judge isn't dismissing her concerns outright. Rather, he's emphasizing that there is a process. Filing motions, presenting evidence, and arguing legal points all have structured pathways. Without following those, the court simply cannot act on verbal demands alone. This is where procedure outweighs emotion. It's overruled.
Going to do and go back. You can go back with the bailiff.
I do not agree or comply to your appointed
Go back.
agents.
You already said that, and that's
Considering
overruled.
that duty is to the state.
Go back with the bailiff. Get your own attorney or represent yourself if you don't like it.
8. What we just witnessed is a courtroom struggling with misalignment between legal procedure and the defendant's understanding of it. The judge made it clear representation is mandatory in one form or another, and the court will not pause indefinitely due to confusion or unverified claims. The repeated overruling of objections and motions wasn't arbitrary. It was based on procedural rules that must be followed for any case to move forward. In the end, the defendant is given 2 weeks to decide, accept legal representation, hire a verified attorney, or represent herself. That decision could define the entire outcome of this case. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.